So we've gone past the age of information, and I'm suggesting the fact that we've gone into the age of transformation. Now, what is transformation? What is information? Information, to put it simply, is just data, right? And data that allows us to be informed. And when we are informed, we would be allowed or we would be able to form opinions, perspectives, beliefs. Uh, and the thing is, beyond that point, the information would have served us in engineering our reality and how we express and how we experience said reality. Now, transformation simply means to use said information, right, to form opinions, belief systems, perspectives, yada yada, and also to transcend said information and to be able to use that information and express a higher form of living. For example, we are familiar with this. One way that we are familiar with it is through the concept of octaves. And we see it in music, we see it in art, in visuals, we see it in geometry as well. If you were to take, let's say, for example, music, and you take a musical note, for example, A, and then you hit the note A and you hear and it vibrates at a certain frequency, it expresses a certain sound signature. And then you go along the scale of notes, you go B, C, D, E, F, G, and then what happens when you vibrate the note past the note G, what happens is eventually it will go back to A, the musical note A, but in the next octave. We see this with light as well, colors. We see this with geometry as well, through cymatic frequencies. And the idea is that the second A has the same information. It is still expressing the musical note of A, but it is expressing itself in a higher vibrational existence. It is expressing the same musical note A, but on the next octave, on a higher frequency, with more amplitude. And what does that tell us is that this second new A note has now been transformed in its expression, in its frequency. However, the experience is still the experience of listening to an A note. So, what I'm suggesting here, the idea of being chunky, is to be able to express ourselves and experience this reality that we're living in pretty much the same way, with the same sort of information that are already there for us now, with the internet, with the, smartphones and things like that, and be able to transcend our existence into the next octave. We are vibrational beings after all, right? So if vibration can express itself in octaves, we can express ourselves in octaves. It's just logic, no? Same analogy. Alright, see you in the next video.